becoming quite the thing, friends, right?
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm super excited because the gang's all here. Last week, Wednesday, I was literally popping in and popping out.
Hi.
You never know what's going to happen when I'm working with technology. So here's the thing I want to say before, we talk about Midyear or anything, but I cannot appreciate you ladies enough. I cannot appreciate the way you can pivot. My friend Sylvia's word. I cannot appreciate how much we do stand behind each other. So thank you. That was very frustrating trying to get on board. Technology, as you all are very aware, is not always my friend. And but with your support and guidance and help, and of course having my back, I just can't appreciate you guys enough. What an amazing leadership team. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Brenda Lee. You're doing an amazing job leading us through this unusual time.
Yeah, it is. Wow, right? Talk about that.
I mean, you make it simple, girl. It's flawless. You're just flawless.
Yes.
Yes, and they're all laughing, everyone, because then there's that.
Nope.
We do. We are blessed, though. We are blessed. We have our health, and we could carry on, and we're making things happen for our members. And I'm super excited about Midyear, the home edition, which I think is very clever as well. I think it's amazing. I think that staff is doing a great job, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, they really are. Yes.
And all with the leadership team's help, the content is amazing, right? So I think that's going to be really cool as well. Really cool as well. Hey, so why don't we talk about that? So looking at the schedule, I don't know if everybody knows, but the schedule is, in fact, at wstar.org. You can track it down. But looking at that schedule, who's your favorite? Let's do it this way. What would your favorite topic be first, and why? And then who are you excited about hearing from? Pamela, you start.
Well, I have to say Elizabeth Mendenhall is one of my very favorites. So I'm glad I got to go first because I know she'll be taken by the rest of us. And so she is one of those types of leaders that is so open and so communicative that you feel like she's talking to you. So I am super excited to hear her. As always, she does inspire every one of us.
Yeah, she certainly does. Have you seen her unicorn presentation before?
No, I have not.
Wow. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah,
you're in for a treat. Yeah, Sylvia, you've seen it.
I've seen it. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I think I've sat by Sylvia when but yeah, you're in for a treat. It's and of course you're so right. Elizabeth truly is that person. Yeah. Anybody else? What do you think, Sylvia? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm excited about the learning labs that are on Friday morning that are going to be going on. I know, Regina Scott's doing something on social media, and me, I love my technology, so I'm super excited about that. But we have several. I think there's 4 different sets of speakers that will be speaking this morning, and I'm super excited to see that. It's probably one of my favorite things about our conference is seeing our members step up, and that's their first time to present and get on this audience. I know so many of them were so excited to do this, and then now it's the virtual world, but I think it's even more exposure for them.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been doing classes too, and classes that when I do a live class, there's 20 people in it. And now I just did a class yesterday where there's 94. It's talk about exposure, right? And I agree with that, Sylvia, too. I think it's super fun that we give that platform, that opportunity to our blossoming leaders. And then they have such great perspective, too. Right? We see it from their perspective, and whatever the topic may be. I love it. I know Bethany's going to be doing it. That's the first time she's ever done it before. Kylie, she's a little seasoned. She's going at it again with Tracy, though. And you're right. Regina Scott's going to be there. And then we've got a panel, right? You've got Rebecca and Molly and Cindy doing a panel. Karen Coffey's got stuff going on. So, yeah, Friday's going to be a jam-packed day. Very jam-packed.
I love that. And when you think about it, that's kind of where we all got our start. You remember the first time you were asked to speak at National, and how nervous you were. It's funny thinking back on it now, but it really is that first little step.
Oh yeah, yeah. And of course, this isn't going to surprise either any of you ladies, but yeah, Cindy will tell you. Cindy Newark will tell you I had technical difficulties, but by the time the show was ready to go, we were ready to go. So it's great. What about you, Chris? What are you thinking?
Well, I agree with Sylvia about the learning labs, and I was going to say the same thing, but I have to also give a shout out to our education classes on Wednesday, because these are opportunities that maybe our members don't ever have the chance to experience at the local level, or unless they're going to state meetings. Those higher end speakers, locals aren't able or don't have a budget maybe to bring them in. So since everybody's not traveling, this really is a great opportunity to get your local members involved and to attend one of our national mid-year events and hear our national speakers that we bring in. Right. And the quality education that we bring. So I think that's a wonderful opportunity to be able to do that from home.
Right. At home edition. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's some big names too.
Yeah.
I mean,
there are. We've got Marky Lemons-Ryhall, we've got Amy Charoux, and they're wonderful speakers. We've been using them for many years, but yeah, I'm excited that more of our members will have that opportunity to hear them speak.
Yeah.
Well, and how about the Leadership Institute group? They're going to have Kathy Watley speak to them. Like, wow.
How lucky is that? That's right.
Right.
Are they?
Yes, to have a couple of past national NAR presidents. Absolutely. In such an intimate environment. Yeah. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, I love it. I think the staff has done a great job. So you guys all mentioned, of course, Elizabeth Mendenhall. I'm just a huge fan. We've got Terry Murphy. She's doing something special for the PMN people. So yay for that. And then, of course, like you say, all those speakers coming in as it relates to Marky and Amy and all those. But we also, because it wouldn't also give people, if we didn't have some craziness going on, a little bit of fun.
That's right. Gotta have some fun.
I know, we're virtually, but it's been figured out. And we've got people like Sam Powell and Joy. I believe it's Jolie. Those two, you may have even seen them. Has anybody been on their social mixers at all? Sylvia, haven't you been on them at all?
I've hit part of them, but yes, they are quite the pair.
And I'm just hoping that Julie can bring Sam out of her shell.
Oh yeah,
no, I know. I wish
she's a little quiet.
Work with that.
Yeah. I heard she's a little reserved as well. Yeah,
I think so.
But
it's a good opportunity for her.
Yeah, I like what Sylvia said. Yeah, they know how to do this. So
yes,
that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun as well. And then I know that Tammy Knoll did a 80s, was it 80s trivia, and there were air guitar contests a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something that I think Tammy Knoll is going to host that kind of a thing. But for me, the thing that I just cannot wait to experience is whatever that Angel Tucker's going to put together. She's doing a happy hour.
Oh.
And if anyone was at Midyear last year, you were part of a group that experienced Angel Tucker. And Angel talks about different personalities and gets the room rolling. Is she like one of the funniest people you ever met?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
Yeah, she's funny, and she's but she's really gets the message across, and you really learn who you are, and it's just it's going to be interesting. I'm really curious how that's going to go too. So lots of great stuff going on, and then of course we cannot forget about our wonderful Carrie Hartnett, right?
Never.
Our yoga on,
right? She's going to bring us all a little bit of inner peace.
Or she tells you to put your forehead to your knee. Yeah, that's going to happen.
My screen will be black, but I'll be doing all of it.
I like the stretching part, stretching, and the resting part. Those are, but I do it, and quite honestly, every once in a while, I feel that I'm getting a little further with the whole process. So it's just a matter of.
It's hard. Yoga is really hard. It really is.
I know. I think I perspire more in yoga than I do in some of the other activities.
Right.
You know?
Right. Absolutely.
Aren't you supposed to be all calm or something?
I know.
What happened to that? I like the relaxation part of it at the end.
It's at the end when you lie down, like trying to recover.
This is good. I like this.
I know.
Absolutely.
I need to bring a bigger mat, though. I need about a 3-inch mattress.
Yeah, it doesn't work the same on your bed, Brenda.
No. I tried it.
I'm willing to try new things, but take it to the next level. I love it. I do. Anyway, so today we were telling everyone, the people that inquired with me at least, what's the plan for today? And the idea was to put a little information out there regarding our mid-year meeting. Now, we're referring it to as the at-home edition, right? Because we are doing this virtually, people. We totally are. So what I want you to know, and then ladies, if you could just, sort of pipe in, what I want everybody to recognize is that things are going well. As a matter of fact, the numbers are rolling straight in with what we've done in the past. And so we expect there to be more registrants than we've ever had in the past. And that's a beautiful idea, right, guys? I mean, just think about it. You can get to a national meeting. I think Chris mentioned it already.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it because this is a huge opportunity, I think, for especially our local networks and newer members or people that have been members for quite a while, but maybe haven't been traveling in leadership for a while. Yeah. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for them to jump back in and see everybody's faces and get a taste of that going to the conferences again. So I'm really hoping that we see people participating that haven't in the past.
I agree. I totally agree. But 2 emails went out. One email went out to the groups that were registered, okay, with a lot of great insights. And one of the things that was in that email was some great, intense information about Zoom and how that all works. I don't want them to be afraid of that. And I always call Sylvia my technology guru, so maybe Sylvia can talk a little bit about that because I think that's a little bit of the hesitation. But it is so simple in the end. And then so that was one email, and then another email went out to those that didn't register yet, and it's sort of like a promotional email giving them some insights about what they can expect, and then of course the opportunity to register. So I know those 2 things went out for sure, and so we're excited about the possibility of seeing more people. So Pamela, why don't you tell us, give us some intel regarding that whole registration thing?
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, everyone. And like everyone's been saying, is when this first happened, we were scratching our heads going, now, how are we going to pull this off? And now we've taken a 360 turn, and we are all very excited about having the mid-year at-home meetings because it opens up so many opportunities for more of our members to experience a national conference where they don't have to travel, they don't have to leave their businesses, they don't have to leave their families, and the cost has been reduced to nearly nothing. So as Brenda mentioned, 2 emails went out on Monday, the 27th, which if you're like me, you're kind of losing track of days. That was just 2 days ago. I know. It's like all the things I am continually looking at my calendar thinking, okay, what am I doing today? And so those emails were super important because if you did register, then of course you got all the information. And if you didn't register, then you got a subject line that said, hey, have you never attended a National Women's Council mid-year? Now is the time. Mm-hmm. You could register right there through that email. So it was super easy. And registration is easy. Either do it through an email that came in on Monday or go to WCR.org. We have everything up there on our website. You go to the national events and then you click on that and it takes you right to the section that says Women's Council Realtors Mid-Year At-Home Edition, May 2020. So you can register online as well. Now, the good news is the registration, as we all know, is only $50. Such a deal, such a bargain. However you want to say
it. I love a good bargain.
Me too. It's on sale. That's all I have to tell my husband. It was on sale. Not only that, so other things are actually being reduced, and that is our PMN course. So if you thought about taking a PMN course and you never had, this is the time that we're offering it for a discount. So all of those things are good. So in order to take advantage of that, of everything that we have, we're talking about education, we're talking about governance activities, we're talking about the networking that we're going to be doing and having some fun, you have to be registered for the full conference, which of course is $50, and it was $250. So like I said, we are offering big discounts on this. Registration has been open. It is open. However, there's a couple deadlines that I want to talk to you about. If you are a voting delegate, which means you're on the national governing board, you are a local network delegate, or a certified member at large, the deadline to register to be eligible to vote is May 1st, which is 2 days from here. So get to it. It's Friday. The other, for everyone else, the deadline to register for the mid-year at-home meetings is May 8th, which is the next Friday. So what we want you to do is register now, register today, don't delay, don't put it off as we always do, and then wait and you're at a disadvantage. Again, it's only $50. Again, you can go to wcr.org and register. Again, you can do it through an email. We've made it super, super simple. However, if you still have some issues, which we know Brenda Lee sometimes does, we all do. I do.
Technology. Let's be clear, Pamela. Brenda has issues. That's a great little soundbite.
We make a tune out of that. We all have issues.
We all have
to handle them. So if you have any questions and they're not being answered online, you can send an email to our national at events@wcr.org.
Right.
Events at WCR. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, because the more the merrier. This is something that is going to go down in history.
It is.
You want to be a part of it, right? So be there or be square. That's all I can say.
Pamela, we have a question here, and I'll read it and let you answer it. Do you have to register for the at-home version if you registered previously for mid-year meetings?
You are registered already. If you registered for the mid-year meetings, you are registered. You'll be getting a rebate for the additional money that you paid for going to the national meetings. So once you're on, you're on. You're good.
You're in.
Good question. Good question. And that's the money for the return, the rebate is coming from NAR. So we're expecting first part of May that you should expect to see that.
Yeah, just be patient with us. That isn't kind of out of our hands. However, if you don't see it soon, just kind of events@wcr.org and say, hey, we'll follow up. We definitely will follow up.
Yeah, great job. Great job. Very thorough.
Perfect.
What should we talk about? Let's go live to my technology guru. Let's go to Sylvia. Sylvia, seriously, that is part of the calls that I'm getting. Are they struggle and they're concerned about being able to participate because of it being a technology thing. And it's funny to me that people would even ask me about it, but I always figure it out. So if I can figure it out, they can figure it out. But can you share some thoughts on that? Because you really are the one that gets this the best.
So the email that went out that Pamela referenced, it did have a link for some Zoom information, but Zoom is the platform we'll be using, and it's fairly simple. Click a button and you go to where you're supposed to be. And if anyone needs any help with that, we're happy to help out or walk you through that or go watch that information. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about is to give you some Zoom etiquette. Just remember that these are business meetings. So please do not show up in your PJs. That's not okay. Please enable your camera. We want to see your faces. We don't get to hug you in person. Pamela's doing all the no-nos right now.
How about the eating one?
The eating, yeah. I thought you were going to do that. A lot of these meetings might actually
use a straw
through your lunch hour. So make sure that if you do need to eat something or anything like that, just turn your camera off for a second. And it's absolutely okay to do that, but don't just sit there for a whole hour session with your camera off. Because we want to see your faces. We want to engage with you. So that's the biggest thing. So show up. It is a business meeting. I'm not saying you have to wear a business suit, but, at least from the waist up, look like you're going to a business meeting. We won't talk about the love that I've fallen in with my house shoes over this time because they keep my feet warm. Yeah, so do that. Mute yourself. When you're not talking, there's nothing worse than having a speaker trying to talk. And in times when a speaker is speaking and they're sharing maybe a PowerPoint, they don't have the ability without stopping the share to go mute you. So please mute yourself. Another best practice tip would be invest in some headphones. You will get better sound quality if you have the headphones and you don't have all this other outside noise going on. And yeah, I have 2 pairs that I alternate before because they die in between sessions. But those are just some of the best practices for Zoom. You will get an email with your links and everything. I think that that's probably one of the scariest things with all these Zooms we're doing. We're like, wait a minute, I have this meeting. Where is that link? You will get emails that have all the links for you, so you'll be prepared for that. Anything else you want to best practices on Zoom? Show up
5 minutes. I like the idea of being ready to go into the room. You know, I do probably 4 or 5 of these a day, these Zoom meetings a day. And I find that it's within the first 5 minutes I have who my participants are going to be. So I am filling time for 5 minutes until I know everybody's on board. So as another best practice, try to schedule your time 5 minutes before. Be ready to log in. You may sit in a waiting room for a minute or 2, or you may be invited right in. You can have your video off. You can have your be muted, but you're there ready. So the second that the presentation begins, you're there ready. I think that's also a very important thing. I think that's helpful to the instructor.
And one other tip I would add, and Pamela, just so I don't forget, will you remember yours? Because I'll probably forget. Another thing you can do is a lot of times when I'm on these Zoom meetings that people will jump in on the chat and they'll be like, hi from Texas, hi from here, hi from here. And what happens is you lose an actual comment or a question that the facilitator needs to answer. So if you would change your name on your Zoom, so if you click on where it says your name in Zoom, you can rename yourself. And so for me, it's a good idea to put Sylvia Siebel / Texas. So everyone knows that I'm from Texas, or Pamela Banks / Florida. It's a great tip to just let people know where you're from. And then if they need to message you privately and say, oh, Pamela, what part of Florida? Because I actually am looking for a referral partner, they can do that without putting the whole stream with a whole bunch of hellos. We know you want to say hello, and we love y'all saying hello here because we have hellos from everywhere, and I love that. But when a facilitator is trying to, that's how you lose track of the questions, and it's hard to, go back and answer a question when it's lost in all of that. Pamela?
Yes, and one thing a couple of things I wanted to add. One of them is lighting. You don't want to be out in the dark. So as you notice, we're pretty much lit up. That's because we have the light behind our camera. And Sylvia was the one who's like, you got to have the light behind the camera, not behind you. So those are just little things that help you to look good and to be able that we can see you. So that's important. The other thing is a lot of our sessions will be recorded, right? So
yeah.
You'll go back and you'll be able to, if you miss something, that's the beauty of it. Because you're a full registrant, a full attendee, then you'll be able to go back and get the materials that maybe you want to hear some more information about. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a couple other little tools I'll mention. You do have the option to raise your hand in Zoom.
There you go.
So and I'm not saying like literally like raise your hand because they might not see you. It might be 4 screens over.
That's right.
But you literally can push a button to raise your hand so that you can ask a question. They can unmute you. And there's all kinds of fun tools that we'll be using in this process. Like some people haven't experienced breakout rooms and sessions such as that. And we're going to be really diving in and using a lot of the tools in Zoom. And I imagine we'll be doing some polling and all of that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As Pamela said, the educational sessions will be recorded. I know this morning we were talking about the learning labs, and that's one of my favorite things. Well, I will be at the NAR Board of Directors, which is at the same type of time. So I will have to watch the recording. So I'm so glad we are recording those educational sessions.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah. And again, I'm going to refer back to that email. Once you register, you get that confirmation email, and it does have a link to give you additional insights, and it's very comprehensive. I don't know if any of you ladies have looked at it, but holy mackerel, it's very comprehensive about Zoom and how Zoom gets used. And Sylvia mentioned the raising of the hand and the breakout rooms and all that. So it's very, very helpful, and they give you the opportunity. There's like 5 or 6 videos you can watch. I just thought that was a helpful situation as well. So that's great too. So we talked about registration. We talked about how we're going to do it. Chris, talk to us about the governance piece of it, because that's also a big part of our mid-year meeting.
You bet. And I just real quick, while we're talking about Zoom, before I forget, wanted to, since you mentioned breakout rooms, that's something the host is going to do for you. So you don't have to worry about it technology wise. You're just, when you're in the meeting, you're just in the meeting and keep going with it. But anyway, so as far as governance, what's actually going on, this will be the first meeting we are doing the region caucuses this year. Wow. So that is going to be nice. Also, the RVPs are all working together and have that all ready to go. They'll have agendas, and we're doing the East, Central, West. Right. So this is kind of our transitional meeting before we move on to that new full-on caucus system run by the national liaisons once they are elected. So right now the RVPs are working together to do that and are very excited about that. Very much looking forward to that. We're also going to have education for the state network rollout for the new network model for the states. That's in 3 different sessions. It'll be broken up. So 1, 2, 3 different days, 1, 2, 3 parts of that. Be sure you hit them all. And if you miss it, again, they'll be recorded. And then we'll also have that local network best practices and local network sessions too. So if you are a leader in the local, you'll have tracks for that, as well as just general business education sessions. So I'm really excited about how all that's going to work. And then for our mid-year business meeting, that is on Thursday the 14th, and that is our elections meeting. So if you are an eligible voting delegate, you do need to check in early. You have to be registered, as Pamela said, by this Friday, and then your registration will be verified, and we can compile the list for the election tellers, and how all that's done behind the scenes now electronically. But we do have an electronic voting system we'll be using. All of that will be explained at the meeting, but the delegates do need to check in about half an hour, 20 minutes before the meeting, and you'll get instructions directly to do that once everybody's registration that's eligible has been verified. You will individually get instructions how to do that. So the meeting is on Thursday the 14th, and then Friday afternoon is our governing board meeting. And this is a meeting that sometimes local networks that have to travel the furthest and the flights are rare to come by, so they don't always make this meeting and sometimes have to leave early. So I'm excited that everybody now will be able to participate in the governing board meeting. Yeah. So that's just another benefit, actually, kind of, I think, about doing this virtually. It's really, there's a lot of opportunity in this meeting, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, we really do need to be, embrace it.
Right. And I should give a shout out to Finance and Budget also. The committee meeting is going to be Tuesday. Right. Well, most committee meetings are closed and only open to those members, but Finance and Budget is one of those that anybody can attend. Only the Finance and Budget meeting committee members may speak and address the committee, but anyone can audit that committee, and you'll just be muted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great job. Great job. So what did we miss? We talked about our registration, Zoom, governance. We talked about who's going to be there. We talked about networking. What did we miss? Did we miss anything?
We have a couple questions in here, Brenda, if we want to go back and answer some questions.
Yeah, I was just going to say about elections, I think all of that will be coming out directly from staff with specific instructions to any of the voting delegates, how that will work with all the weighted votes and everything else. Yeah. In particular.
There's actually a video that I did that's embedded in the registration confirmation that they can click on. Right. And I really did go through all pieces of the registration. We talk about delegates and weighted votes, and we talk about who gets to vote and how the voting is going to take place and all that good stuff. So I think that would be very, very helpful to them to just click on that piece of the communication, because I think it'll give a lot of intel for you. And I would suggest that any questions that they have, let's get all these things out of the way so that we can have a smooth process put into place, and it all works out for us.
And that video is actually also on our YouTube page. That's where I found it.
It sure is there as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else? What else we got? Yeah.
We have a question here. It says, say that link again, please. And I think that's about when Pamela was speaking.
For registering for the event. Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe go to events, you were saying?
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So a couple places to register, either through the email that you received on Monday, the 27th, which was just a couple days ago. The subject was, have you ever attended a National Women's Council Midyear? Why not? So click on that. The other place is on WCR.org. If you click on the top where it says national events, it'll take you to our virtual events page. There on the left is national events. That takes you to Midyear. And that's the at-home version edition, May 2020. And once you get there, you get the information and you get the link to register. So there's lots of different places. And then if perchance you have any issues, again, our national staff is here to answer any questions. You can email them at events@wcr.org. So there's lots of places for you to find out this information.
Absolutely.
Our next one is, can you see your audience right now? We cannot see you.
No.
We can see your comments, and so we're looking like that. We can monitor your comments and all of that. So it's different from the Zoom platform where we would be seeing you in like the Brady Bunch type of atmosphere.
Right. Which is why we're being a little more silly. We only see each other.
So true. What else do you have? Yeah.
How do you do that again? I think this was in reference to changing your name on Zoom.
Okay.
And what you do when you go into a Zoom meeting. So if you're going to be at a happy hour, you might want to be a little funner, and maybe it's your nickname that you want to change your name to. So you just click on your name, like when you get yourself in the Zoom meeting, and you're able to change your name and add, dash your state or whatever you want it to say. It's real easy. Just not right click. Actually, it might be a left click. I'm not sure. Do a click. And left click, and then it'll pop up with a menu of things you can do, and rename is one of the options, and you can rename yourself. So it's a great time to rename yourself so that we can find you and know who you are. And the other thing that I'm going to say about the renaming yourself, when you go, we didn't mention it. So there's a speaker view on Zoom, and then there's a
gallery view, maybe?
Gallery view. That's the word. That's the word. The gallery view. And when you're on gallery view, you can see people's pretty much their whole name unless it's really, really long, so that you will be able to tell that it's Texas or Florida or whatever state that it is.
Yeah.
So I suggest gallery view, and then you also get to see all your friends. Otherwise you only see the ones that are talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. What else? Do we have anything else, Sylvia?
Will those who are not registered get the registered email with all the Zoom information once they register?
Once they register, they will. Yes, they will. Absolutely.
And we talked about the elections. There'll be a whole information that comes out to all the delegates about voting and all of that. So that's pretty much all of the comments, and a whole lot of highs from all our friends across the nation.
Hi, everybody. I think I'm going to be in Texas tomorrow. I'm going to be in Louisiana. And where are you going to be? Chris, you're going to be somewhere too.
I'm going to be in all of Region 7 at one time on Friday.
Region 7. I've seen all you guys.
And in Michigan next week.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for being who you all are and sharing yourselves with our members. This is a very unusual time, but I think we're embracing it. And we are actually connecting with more of our members now than we would normally because of, plane rides and hotel expenses. Now we have, someone just called me last night, Renee from California. Hey, what do you think about coming to visit us on the 21st? Absolutely. I love it. Super excited.
Nice.
So anything else, my friends? Are we off to our next?
Covers it. Off to the next Zoom.
Yeah.
This group has another meeting in a little bit, so I will see you again.
All righty. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.